Hello, students and alumni alike, and welcome back to the Show Fixations. This is where we talk about our students and the latest obsessions. And today we have Lillian McNeil. She's a junior at Fayetteville State University with a major in biology and a minor in chemistry. She's in some amazing orgs such as Trio Bronco Star, and she's even a biology major ambassador. With such a big brain, let's see what fixations she has in stores for us. How are we, Lillian McNeil?
I'm doing great, Jan. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, because I know that normally when we talk, we have a lot of similar fixations going on, but there's one fixation that we talk about a lot. Would you like to tell our audience what that fixation is?
I'm a huge fan of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog, a classic video game icon. So when did that fixation start?
Honestly, I always thought Sonic was cool growing up, but more recently, especially after seeing Sonic Prime, starting to get into the comics a bit, and of course with Sonic X Shadow Generations, I just became like a bigger fan than I already was.
Same here, really, but I can't really remember a time when I wasn't a fan at this point. I loved Sonic almost all my life, but I did remember where it started. When I was like 4 to 5 years old, my cousin introduced me to Smash Bros. Brawl, and I thought Sonic the Hedgehog was like the coolest guy in that game. And then I saw on Netflix, I was like, oh my god, he has cartoons and such, and I was like, that's really cool. So I thought for the longest time he was like just a cartoon character. And then I was like, oh my god, he has video games. I saw my cousin have Sonic Colors on the Wii, and that was like the first day of the rest of my life. Sonic Colors like literally changed the game in my head. I loved and played Sonic Colors so much as a kid. It started off my Sonic fandom from the jump. It's actually my favorite Sonic game because of that major nostalgia. It was like simpler times.
I remember, same thing for me. I originally got into it because of Sonic Underground. That was my first instance going into Sonic. And then from there, I briefly read the Archie comics as a kid, and that was confusing because the lore in Archie comics is confusing.
It's a lot edgier too.
A lot edgier. And then I also began to watch Sonic X. That was a huge thing.
Best Sonic cartoon, easy.
It was great.
Easily the best Sonic cartoon.
As well as some basic Sonic mobile games. And that was just kind of for my childhood how I got introduced to Sonic. I always thought he was pretty cool.
But what was your favorite Sonic game?
The Olympic games for, what is it called, with Nintendo and Sonic.
That's your favorite Sonic game of all time? The 2011 Olympic Games?
Sonic X Shadow is a pretty high contender, but the 2011 Olympic Games was probably my favorite.
What is your favorite Sonic character?
Well, that's a tough one because they're all great. They're all great, and I love all the Sonic characters. But I think my favorite is probably Rouge. I'm a big Rouge fan. She's just so like cool, and she like isn't like this damsel in distress. None of the girls in Sonic really are, but
Amy was for like a minute there.
But you know, that was also during the Archie comics. You have to remember, and even then, she technically, especially towards the middle to end half, she's had a weapon. And one thing, what is it called? They're kind of moving away from that in the more like current iterations of her, where they're focusing more so on her, not only as a person, but she is adept at fighting.
The dark ages of Sonic the Hedgehog, if you're asking me.
We don't talk about the dark ages of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Unagreed!
So, next one I want to ask is about the year of Shadow, like the whole year 2024 that we had last year. That was a crazy time, right?
Oh my gosh, last year, like I told you, I love Rouge, but Shadow just like, he won my heart. He's just so amazing. I love that, we all know that he's just like edgy, but the thing is I love how they kind of play into that. But then also, there's so many iterations of Shadow. You had the movie with Shadow the Hedgehog for Sonic 3. Then you have the game, Sonic X Shadow Generations. Then you also have, like I said, I love Sonic Prime. It's not the best, but it's a really good, it's better than some of the other animated iterations of Sonic the Hedgehog, and I love that version of Shadow as well. So yes, is the year of Shadow, or was the year of Shadow.
Do you prefer the 2D or the 3D style of Sonic the Hedgehog?
Well, that depends. If you're talking about animated series-wise, I think that 3D can do things that 2D can't. However, the nostalgia from 2D is definitely what I prefer. However, in terms of the games, I prefer 3D. Because the thing is that, I don't know, 2D has a lot of platforming. And the thing is, not saying that the 3D one doesn't have platforming, but I feel like it's harder for me to platform on 2D versus 3D, personally.
Really?
Yes, I don't know, I couldn't explain. Like how in Sonic X Shadow Generations, when I was playing a lot of the Shadow levels, when it was like, there was like the A level and then the B level. The A level, I like got through in like less than 2 minutes. But with the B level, where it's the 2D one, it took me like 4 or 5 minutes, which we know for a Sonic game is kind of slow.
I think, yeah, it is, funny enough. I think I prefer 3D when it comes to like, when Sonic games focus a lot more on story, I think that's when Sonic should be 3D. But like gameplay overall, 2D Sonic really doesn't miss. There's just...
It's a classic. And the thing is, I will say that the levels themselves are actually, all the levels, both 3D and 2D, are really intricate. And oh my goodness, I didn't even mention the new racing game that's being announced.
You mean the new racing game that's not going to get nearly as much popularity or publicity as the new Mario Kart coming out this year?
I know.
And there was something else that's very popular in Sonic.
What?
The songs.
Oh.
The music.
Oh my goodness, I love the music in Sonic.
What is your favorite Sonic track of all time?
Undefeatable. I know there's some kind of, I'm Always more of a classic one, while Undefeatable and His World are, I guess, are more modern-ish. But the thing is, I love how Sonic kind of went from this like electronic, like, and they still do a lot of electronic music, but now they're kind of switching into kind of like a rock thing. And I love rock personally.
Sonic does rock music strangely well.
It's so good. Like, I didn't expect it. And then with their recent music, my favorite artist of all time is Casey Lee Williams. And so she actually was on the tour with them when they did the symphony, the Sonic Symphony. She also did the song in Sonic X Shadow Generations. I think it was like the final song. She's so good. So, and she's also an amazing rock artist, so I'm so happy.
As much as I love the nostalgia for Reach to the Stars and Planet Risk, definitively it is probably Dreams of Absolution. I don't know what it is about that track, but it's just, and it's also a really long song, but it's just outstanding from beginning all the way to the end. You can just feel the emotion. Although it probably comes from the most underwhelming Sonic game in the series,
That's fair.
they treated it with so much confidence and so much emotion that you just can't help but feel every beat in the song.
And that's one thing I definitely will say is that I think a lot of people in the Sonic fandom agree that even if the game isn't like spectacular, the music's always gonna hit.
Like
Every
always.
single time.
Like Sonic is all about being like carefree and just as a character. And I just think Dreams of Absolution encapsulates everything about his character. We do have one take left on our time for this show. And that's when I get to my final question. Sonic, strangely enough, has a pretty interesting representation in community that makes Sonic as a whole very, how do I say, eye-catching, I guess, or addictive. Why do you feel like people get so infatuated with the Sonic the Hedgehog series?
I think part of it, honestly, is the bright colors. I know it's very simple, but I feel like having the characters kind of having a color scheme, it kind of draws people in. They're like, oh, blue, like Sonic, red, Knuckles, pink, Amy. And so with that being said, it's that, and then on top of it, it's very kid-friendly, like family-friendly. There isn't a lot of, I mean, it depends on don't read the Archie comics, of course, but it's for all generations to get into, especially like with the recent movie iteration. I saw a lot of families watching it and a lot of people enjoying it. You people my age that watched it, you had older people that watched it, you had kids watching it. And so it's kind of just like family friendly as well. And I think it's partially due to the interesting storyline, but on top of it, just the cool cast of characters. There's lots of different personalities. And I think also it captures a lot of people's, of course, some of the fighting that goes along, but also just the character interactions. A lot of people are drawn to that, especially with the rivalry between Shadow and Sonic.
Sonic the Hedgehog series, I think it's just a very welcoming series to get into.
Absolutely.
Because there's a multitude of aspects. When I see people get into Sonic, or like children really liking Sonic the Hedgehog, it's mostly the vibe that the series gives off. It's so charming.
It is.
It's so relaxing. And it's just like very a casual thing for children to get into. And it's even more rewarding when they start getting into the series because they start learning that there's more of a story to the series, that there's more of a legacy to the series, that they care about their history.
And that's one thing that also is great about Sonic is that's multiple media forms. So you have the series, like you have the shows, several different shows from different time periods. You have the comics itself from different time periods, and you also have the games from different time periods. So it allows for people of old and new to kind of come into the series. And I agree with you that especially for kids who just want to play this cool character and do this cool game and beat the boss, it's fun. But for the older people who might want a bit of story, it also draws them in because now they're seeing the story. Especially with all these games coming together, you're starting to see it just...
I guess at the end of the day, we can agree that there's something for everybody when it comes to Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, absolutely. I would completely agree.
And I thank you for our time on our show today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Hope you had fun.
Oh, I always have fun.
Stay tuned for our next episode of Fixations, and with that, we bid you adieu. And that ends our week's Fixation. Please support the official release of any source material you've seen used in this episode, and all information and music used will be located on your screen for you right now. And hey, if you want to be in the show, I will leave my information down on the screen for you as well, or you can just come talk to me anytime you wish on Fayetteville State University. Thank you for watching, and tune in for next week's Fixation.